This is GARIS Masculist MGTOW flyers. That is 2 3-page essays on the themes of masculism and MGTOW. Written and read aloud by Prof. Dr. Hugo de Garis. This is flyer number 189, entitled Twaytweffing equals the lifestyle that gives men regular sex without paying the traditional price of being a manslave to a fluffy parasite. Description: this flyer pushes the twaytweffing lifestyle that allows men to have regular sex with a woman without having to pay the traditional price of being a manslave to a hated fluffy parasite. MGTOW/masculist men will only twaytweff with women who are FIPs and have their own apartments, hence the lifestyle name, and in brackets 2A 2F equals 2 apartments, 2 FIPs. Twaytweffing forces a woman to remain nice to her man, otherwise he can walk away so easily, cost-free for him. Now clicking on the link, and this is the second time I've tried this. The previous time it didn't work because I'm in China and the internet service is not reliable. The government tries to block everything, so I have to use a VPN, virtual private network. So clicking on the link, good, this time it came up. Alright, so now I can read the flyer itself. There is a way for a man to obtain regular sex from a woman without paying the traditional price of being a manslave to a fluffy parasite. It's called twaytweffing. Equals 2A 2F equals 2 apartments, 2 FIPs. That is, both the man and the woman are FIPs, financially independent persons, and both have their own apartments. When the relationship almost inevitably fails, the two of them just walk back to their own apartments, cost-free to the man. There's no marriage, no kids, and no alimony, because the woman is a FIP. The great advantage to the man of the twaytweffing lifestyle is that it forces the woman to remain nice to the man, because she knows that if the man becomes annoyed with her, for example, if she starts nagging or withholds sex or tries to mold him, then he can so easily walk away. Twaytweffing men utterly reject having a relationship with fluffies, that is, traditional women who expect to be able to parasite off the money of a man, who are considered to be immoral, parasitic, manslaving vermin to be wiped out by being ignored to death, forced to rot on the shelf to extinction. By insisting that his female sexual partner is a FIP and has her own apartment, he can then benefit from the regular sex the woman gives him and not have to pay the traditional price of being a manslave to a hated fluffy. A MGTOW need not avoid women. He can twaytweff and still satisfy the usual and commonly held definition of a MGTOW, that is, a man who refuses to marry, refuses to have kids, and spends his money on himself. A twaytweffing man satisfies that definition, so is a MGTOW. Until the gender laws are men-fared, the verb, the best that women can hope for in terms of having a relationship with a man is to twaytweff with him. She won't have a kid because he will refuse to give her his sperm. He won't marry her. He will demand that she behaves as a responsible adult by being a FIP and having her own apartment, so she has proved that she is not a child-minded, contemptible fluffy. Twaytweffing men utterly reject fluffies like the plague. Fluffies are vermin to such men and are left on to rot on the shelf so as to wipe their fluffy genes from the gene pool in favour of women who have more FIP genes. You could call this process the FIPPing of women. This twaytweffing is the conception of the masculists. By advocating twaytweffing to men, the masculists are forcing women to grow up. If they don't, they won't get a man, and as fluffies, they'll be poor, manless, loveless, sexless, childless, and increasingly spat at by a society that is familiar with MGTOW masculist arguments and sees fluffies as vermin because they're manslavers. Manslavery is slavery. Slavery is a war issue, and the masculists are at war against the fluffies, aiming to wipe them out, not by killing them, but by ignoring them to death. Only fit women will be rewarded by having relationships with, in brackets, MGTOW/masculist men. This will put enormous moral pressure on women to FIP up by getting a career-competent education at high school and university so that they can be FIPs as adults. If they study fluffy crap at high school, choosing the soft option, the intellectually easy, intellectually lazy, memory-based, non-analytic subjects at high school, then almost inevitably they will end up as fluffies and hence be rejected by most men. They will then be punished for being fluffies, for being manslavers. They will not get a man. To the women reading this, take note. You must FIP up or you will be punished by being manless. Men are no longer prepared to be manslaves to fluffy parasites. Cheers. Prof. Dr. Hugo de GARIS. Email profhugodegaris@yahoo.com. Website profhugodegaris.wordpress.com.